oh, I gotta give this speech. That's our stress going after us. Our heart rate has pumped up, our hand shakes a little bit. That's the adrenaline coming through our bodies, right? If we're always in that state, then what happens is our adrenal glands will fatigue and we won't be able to perform at a great level. And at one point in time, we're all gonna come crashing down. That's when bad things start to happen, anxiety starts to kick in, you might need to go to the doctor. The doctor's gonna be like, hey, here's some drugs for you to take. They're gonna make you feel better. You take those drugs, sooner or later you find out that it's just all a cycle of things. But it can all be related and traced back to one thing, our mindset. Simple as that. You know, like I say, you know, if somebody's holding a gun to you, asking you for all your money, or the electricity people are asking for your money, you could hold off on that for like a day or two. Go ahead and pay it when you can. Breathe. Right when you see that bill, don't go. Breathe. Just like, all right, it's a little bit steep, you know, but I can get this. Right? I might not be able to get this today, but I will get it tomorrow. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna evaluate it, and I'm gonna do it. That's the better way to do it. Now, this is called the fight or flight response. What's happened nowadays is also another mechanism that usually doesn't happen. It's called freeze. When you see something, it's really big. Like if there's a spider right there, let's say there's a snake, all right? You're walking by, all right? There's two things you're gonna see, all right? Because a lot of people are afraid of snakes. You're either gonna be like, there's a snake, and then you're gonna run away, all right? Or you'll be like, there's a snake, here's a shovel, and you're gonna try to kill the snake. Or there's one other mechanism, and it's really weird, but now people are starting to take notice of it because there's so much stress. There's a snake. He doesn't see me. He's coming closer. He's coming closer. What should I do? What should I do? Like, no, he's gonna bite me. No, that's when people don't know how to handle it. If you're a freezer, you don't know how to handle stress. I'm sorry. But if you freeze, you gotta go ahead, you gotta rethink your thoughts. You gotta change your mentality up there. You can't freeze. You gotta fight it. That's when that bill's coming at you. Like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to pay this bill. Or you can run away. Boop, I don't care if you turn off my darkness, I don't care if you turn off the lights. I can live, I can survive. I'll get you that money soon. Same thing with the guy to your gun. Here's all the money, man. You flee away. Or you can be the brave one, you can try to fight. If you know how to do that. Me personally, I'd be like, here man, take my money. It's $10, whatever. Go ahead. You know? Or just be like, if I had some great self-defense skills, I'd be like, take that gun and be like, ha! Go run away, fine. You know, but I went out of that place and I go, oh God, I'm gonna cry. I don't know what to do. Somebody call the cops. No, there's nobody there. There's nobody gonna help you. It's up to you to figure it out. If you can't figure it out, something's wrong. Now, bam. On the contrary side, you got the parasympathetic. Simply, that's all of this and the opposite, all right? Heart rate slows down, blood pressure lowers, all right? That's another thing too. One of the things with high blood pressure. High blood pressure is highly related to having a high amount of stress. Even if you think you're healthy and everything, you can be very, very fit, have a healthy weight, exercise and everything, but if you can't control what's going up in that noggin, forget about it. That's why stress is a highly overlooked thing when it comes to exercise and actually being healthy, physical, and fit, all right? Heart rate lowers, blood pressure lowers, our body will then will regulate digestion, and our body will actually digest nutrients. While over here, you can't digest nutrients. I don't know if you think about this, but like when you're in a non-stress state, you're just chilling, relaxed, you can eat, you can breathe, everything's going good, all right? You're gonna feel better, your heart rate's a little bit more relaxed, your body will then be burning some fat, everything knows it's good, you don't really need this extra fat that's on your body, let's go ahead and take off that, let's take care of it. And not only that, but when your heart is beating at a lower heart rate, the mechanism it uses for your body's energy is actually fat cells themselves. The higher your heart rate is, the more glucose, which is carbohydrates, your body's going to use, because it's much more of a fast-acting chain, which can be metabolized a lot faster than fat chains can be. So when your heart rate is lower, you're going to be actually burning more fat. So when it comes down to healthiness and actually looks, being in a less stressed out state is much more beneficial for your body. But not only that, there's a hormone that a lot of people have heard before. Hormones. Cortisol. Alright. Cortisol. It's a hormone again released by the adrenal gland, which releases norepinephrine. Alright? It is the combating hormone which can be released when you have too much stress. Well, what that will do is that will hold on to fat. It'll grab the fat. And you know where it puts it? Right around your digestive organs. All of these vital organs. We can't live without a liver. We can't live without 2 kidneys. We can't live without our digestive tract. We can't really live without our stomach. So you know what it'll do? It'll place fat, which is also a protective mechanism around all that area. You know what that does? Gives you a fat stomach. And there's a lot of people out there that are like, you know what? Like, I'm lean everywhere else. I got, you know, you can see my arms, you can see everything else, but like, I just got a lot of fat around my stomach. I asked them, how are your stress levels? High. Okay. What that means is that their body's pumping out a lot more cortisol than it should be. And because of that, they're storing a lot more body fat around this specific general region. And it has to do so with adrenal fatigue, because their adrenal glands have pumped up way too much norepinephrine, way too much adrenaline. And because of that, they're releasing more cortisol. Because again, these two systems work well with one another, all right? And when you're too stressed out, your entire hormonal system changes, all right? And as guys, as gentlemen, all right, we have a very, very awesome hormone. It's called testosterone, all right? The reason why it's called that is because it's released by things that we have that females don't really have. Testes, testosterone and testes, all right? Makes sense, right? Comes from the same exact area. That's what produces it, okay? Now, when you're stressed and everything, and this is also called the breed and feed state. Well, this is the fight or flight. Breed and feed. What do you need to breed? You need testosterone, all right? Guys, if you're stressed out, you're not gonna be pumping testosterone. The hormone that makes us as a man is not going to be an abundant source to you. As men, we want to have as much testosterone as possible, and we hit our peaks around the ages of 18 to 30. All right, so this is that major, awesome point in time in life. And not only that, but at 30, if you keep yourself healthy, it'll stay there. If you don't keep yourself healthy, it's just going to decline. And you know what? When that declines, it's really tough for your hormone system to start pumping up more and more and more. So the whole thing is you want to stay healthy, especially when you're younger, so that way you can keep your hormonal system high and steady through your entire life. You could be like a horse until you're 80 years old. Just keep on going, keep on trucking, all right? So the next thing I want to talk about with stress, that's very, very important. So does anybody have any questions at all about the hormone systems of nervous and, the nervous system, the hormonal system, or how stress is highly affected to our workouts and to our lifestyle? Yes, Liz?
How would you recommend women to control their stress?
And there's one simple thing, one really great thing to do with your stress. And it's all related to the autonomic nervous system. There's one thing that we all do that we can control. It's all voluntary, but we control it it's involuntary, but we can make it voluntary. Breathing. Again, when we're in this state, what changes? Our respiration changes. We use different muscles to breathe. Instead of using more of our deep abdominal muscles, we use our diaphragm to expand our chest, all right? One other great way to do that is if you can voluntarily change your respiratory system, that will change your sympathetic nervous state to being into more of a parasympathetic state of mind. All right? So one great thing to do is, if you ever heard anybody say,